2006, my congregation, the Legionaries of Christ, we bought this piece of land here with the idea of building a sanctuary for the public life of Jesus, because from Magdala, from this area here on up to Capernaum is where Jesus lived his public life. So we were able to buy the land, and then in 2009 we wanted to start building, but we had to see if there was any archaeology, just in case. And we found all the archaeology. So what we found was the first century town of Magdala. Okay? In the year 66, there's the Jewish revolt against the Romans. And the Jewish community that lives here is taken out to Tiberias, to the south. And then later on, in the first century, some flash floods come down from the Mount Arbel here and cover everything. And it stayed like this for 2,000 years. So there's nothing that we see here that is after the year 66 or 67. Okay? So it's all first century. Why is this place becoming very important? Because Magdala is a crossroads between the Jewish and the Christian cultures. Because this is a Jewish community, we found one of the only 7 synagogues that have been found in Israel up to now. This is a Jewish synagogue from the first century, and we also know that Jesus comes walking through here, and that there's a Christian community here because we know of this very famous lady called Mary from Magdala. So this is her town, the town where she came from. So what we're finding here is that we're getting a lot of Christian groups, we're getting a lot of Jewish groups. 30 to 37% of our visitors last year were from Israel. So when we started digging, we felt that this can't be anymore just for the public life of Jesus. This is a bigger thing. It's bigger than what we thought it was going to be. So we're trying to create a place here where there's a lot of peace and harmony between all of the cultures. And this becomes a home for everyone. This is a Jewish synagogue, a Jewish town. It doesn't belong to the Catholic Church. I'm a Catholic priest, but it doesn't belong to the Catholic Church like everything we do here is just for Catholics. It's not like that. It's open for everyone from the Judeo-Christian history and culture. Okay? So that's very important for us because I know by living here that sometimes you see the people come in and they're like, oh, you're a Catholic, and so maybe we don't want to talk to you too much. But then after 10 minutes, they see that we're really open. We want everybody to be able to experience Magdala exactly the way it is, not the way I want to propose it to you. I want to tell you what happened here and what we found. So you're looking in front now of the first century synagogue. It's the only first century synagogue that stands still on this part of the Sea of Galilee. Okay, of the 7 synagogues, this is the only one on this part of the Sea of Galilee. And it's the only one that they've found that has frescoes, mosaics, and this stone right here. This stone is called a bima. It's like a little book stand, you could say that, you know. It was found in the center of the synagogue where we have that other replica over there, and it was used for reading the Torah. They would put the Torah on top of it. Why is this stone important? It's the only representation that exists of the second temple in Jerusalem. The second temple was destroyed in the year 70. We have the Jewish revolt here in the year 66, 67, and this was here before that. So the person who made this maybe saw the temple and had very good references. So we have the original menorah on the stone in front here as we're looking at the temple, and it's the oldest carved menorah that exists today. So this is very, very important. Everything that's on the stone here is depicting the temple. We have the altar of sacrifice, the menorah. We have the 2 amphore, one for water, one for oil. And then as you would walk into the front room here of the temple, you would have the menorah, and then you would have the 2 bread loaf offerings with the 12 loaves of bread on them. Walking through the temple, you would get to the veil before going into the Holy of Holies. So we have this rosette on top of here, which depicts the veil before going into the Holy of Holies. And then on the back here, we have a chariot with some flames below it. At the beginning we said, oh, it's the chariot of the prophet Elias. And no, it's a chariot which is the throne of God. And from below the throne of God, heaven was seen as a fiery place. Fire descends, goes into the temple. Why? Because in the second temple, we don't have the Ark of the Covenant anymore. And the first temple was destroyed, they lost that. In the second temple, we have God's presence in here, and so it's depicted with the flames and with God's throne. With the columns that go down the side with the palm trees, we see the sanctuary of the temple in Jerusalem. Underneath here, you see a picture of some coins, of a coin, one coin. It's a coin from the year 29, which we found inside one of the rooms on top of a mosaic floor. So we have the sureness that this is a synagogue that is from the 1st century before the Christian era up until the year 66, 67 of the Christian era. So we know that this is also a place where Jesus of Nazareth comes walking through. Magdala is on a vein of the Via Maris. When you come through Caesarea Maritima, you go through Megiddo, you come through the valley, you come behind here, which is the Wadi Hammam, the Valley of the Doves. You would come into Magdala naturally, it's a natural passageway, and then you would take the road going up to Capernaum, to Bethsaida, and then to Damascus. So we have a natural passageway coming from Nazareth here. Jesus of Nazareth lived up the road from here, and Magdala becomes that crossway of passage for him, and the beginning of a Christian community. So this is the overview, we can say. We found the synagogue, we found a marketplace that's been very important, we'll see that. We found 2 private villas. You were in Capernaum this morning? Capernaum, yeah. I don't know how you say that. Capernaum. Okay, so you saw the synagogue in the center, and around the synagogue you saw what are called the insulae. There were the little extended houses that are kind of built with stones a little bit. Over there we found 2 private houses, very well built, and with 4 mikvot, with the purification ritual baths inside the house. So we'll see those also. And then we found the 1st century port of Magdala, where the Sea of Galilee would come up to that 1st century port, and a fisherman's house and a marketplace down below, and then we built down the Duke and Altum Center, which we'll see. If you'd like, I know you have only about an hour, there's a lot to see, so if you'd like, you can walk around the synagogue, and I'll be in the middle. I'll show you a couple of things of the synagogue, and then from there we can continue on. It's a lot to see in a little time, so I don't want to get you bored either. You can provide the synagogue with these little shops over here, and the marketplace. This road goes down. Underneath the Duke and Altum Center, we found a part of the 1st century road then that goes up. So you would come into Magdala, you could walk down this road here, go connect to the 1st century road that goes up to the north of the lake. This is the marketplace here that we found. A couple of things that are important here. We know from the historian Flavius Josephus that fish from the Sea of Galilee was brought into the marketplace here, and some of these bins that are right here, they're conserved, the fish is conserved under salt, preserved in salt, and then it was sent even as far as Rome. So the way back out to the Wadi Hammam, all the way over to Caesarea, and then out to Rome. We found in this zone over here where those cement columns are, in that zone over there we found about 8 or 9 little, what might have been little purification baths for the objects, to purify objects. But we don't know if they were purification baths or just water to serve the marketplace. But we found about 8 of them. They would dig down into the ground, and then the spring water and the rainwater that fills up the basin, and then they would have fresh water here in the marketplace for use. All of this here is going to be, now that we're here I can explain it just a little bit. We're building the Pilgrim Center, and this part here where the cement is right here is going to be a little lobby with a cafeteria, and that will be a glass panel that from the inside you can look into the synagogue, you can look out over onto the archaeology. We're not covering anything. It's all going to be kind of integrated into the Pilgrim Center, and there'll be another wing going down the center here for more people. About 350 people will be able to stay here. And down in the corner we're building the restaurant. I'll show you a little video about that later, so you have an idea that in about a year and a half, 2 years, what will be existing here. Okay? We can walk up the stairs, and then we're going to go over to where that other little roof.
as long as I live that horrifying day. He said, woman, go and sin no more. Woman, go and sin no more. I shall never forget as long as I live. My Lord is gone, and I know not where. All that's left is his garment there. His grave is empty, his tomb is bare. He said, could breathe and leave a trail of galaxies and dream of me. What kind of love is writing my story?